welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Sherry. Recently, I had the pleasure of going on safari in Tanzania, and I have quite a few videos which are linked in the description box below of what I did on safari and some room tours. But today I want to talk about one of the most incredible experiences I had on safari, which was the balloon safari. So we did the balloon safari in the Serengeti with Serengeti Balloon Safaris. I think it is a must-do if you are going on safari. It gives you such unique perspective of the landscape, of the animals. So we had already been on safari 4 days, I think. So we had been in the Jeep, we had seen plenty of animals, and then to go on the balloon safari and see everything from up above. So a couple questions that people ask are, how far did you go up? We did not go that far up. Most of the time, I would say we were maybe 30 feet off the ground, which is not very far. We did go higher up at the very beginning and then came down, but you see the animals better when you're closer to the ground. I really don't have a fear of heights, so it didn't bother me. But a couple of other questions people ask are, how big is the basket? So the basket holds 12 people, so there are 4 sections, and then there are 3. We had 3 people per section. I think you could fit 4 people per section, but we just had 3 people per section. And you load the basket, it is tipped over, they load it, and the top people go in first, and then the bottom people, and then as you take off, the basket flips up. The basket to me was about chest high. I'm 5'3" for reference, so it's a pretty high basket. It's not like waist high. You're not gonna fall out. You're strapped in for takeoff and landing, and I felt very safe. The pilot that we had was Canadian. He is a hot air balloon pilot that travels around the world and does hot air balloon rides all over the world. He was lovely.
Up at around 250 meters. So now we're coming back down. We're going to come down, use the winds to try and get close to the animals.
Our guide picked us up at our tented camp about 4 a.m., which was a very, very early wake-up call. I think we woke up at 3 because we had to pack up because we were leaving that tented camp that day, and so we packed our stuff, we left it in the room. The balloon safari guide picked us up. It was still pitch black when we left. We drove maybe half an hour and came upon a kill. It was a fresh kill. It was crazy. So lions had killed, I can't remember what it was, and I can't really tell from the pictures. So it was a fresh kill, and the lions were still eating it, and all of the other animals were circling and ready to dive in. We stopped and watched it for a few minutes in the dark. It was crazy. It was really crazy. We'd seen other kills, but at night it's just a whole nother experience. And then we arrived at the site, the launch pad. It was starting to get light. The sun had not risen yet, but it's that time where the sun is just below the horizon and you can tell that the sky is just getting lighter. Good morning. Okay, it is early. I guess it's not that early right now. It's about 10 after 6, and we are going on a hot air balloon over the Serengeti. So we got picked up this morning at 4 a.m. So we got up at 3, we got picked up at 4 a.m. and driven out here 2 hours. I don't know where we are. We're somewhere in the Serengeti. I'll flip you around, and we're gonna go on a hot air balloon and look at some animals from the air. So I'm really excited about this. Definitely going to be one of the highlights of the trip, and I can't wait to share it with you. This is the launching site. It's a little hazy out here. There's multiple balloons going on, and we took this Jeep. We are traveling with Serengeti Balloon Safaris. They've been doing this for a number of years. They're a great company to work with, and they have quite a few balloons out here this morning. There's at least 4, quite a few people out here. We're gonna go use what they call, it's pretty hazy, the loo with the view. So that's the restroom right there. And yeah, let's do it. And we were getting in our balloon right when the sun started to rise, and we took off right as the sun rose, which was absolutely incredible. I mean, I have to say I have been blessed to have been all over the world and seen some pretty extraordinary things, but sunrise over the Serengeti in a hot air balloon, I mean, it is right up there at the top. And we traveled for about an hour. We saw probably the most, gosh, I feel like we saw the most hippos. And we were there during the Great Migration, so of course we saw a ton of zebras and a ton of wildebeests. We saw a handful of giraffes, which was really neat. Unfortunately, we didn't see any lions or cheetahs. So it was really, really cool. And then we landed. So the safari jeep that had picked us up in the morning from our tented camp had been tracking us. We could see him on the ground driving, following us the whole time. And when we landed, our pilot found an open field and they landed. And the safari jeep was there to meet us, and they set up a little table with champagne and orange juice, and we did a toast and heard the story of why you drink champagne after your hot air balloon ride, which was an incredible story, which I'd never heard before. And cheers. And then the safari vehicle took us to a breakfast on the savannah underneath some acacia trees. It was a fantastic breakfast. I saved the menu from the breakfast. It was called Out of Africa Breakfast Menu, and I had a full English breakfast, which I'm a huge sucker for English breakfast. I just think if I could have an English breakfast every day, I would. But there's the little menu, and then a little bit about the Serengeti Balloon Safaris, which was incredible. And just had a great breakfast there. We got to spend some time chatting with other people that were in our basket and got to know them, which was really neat. And then each of us were awarded a certificate, which was signed by our captain. And it came in this little thing, and I saved it. So that's a nice little souvenir, and took pictures. And then they took us back to a rest stop in the Serengeti, and our guides had taken our luggage from our tented camp that we were staying and put it in the car, and we were off. I think that the whole thing was probably, we got picked up at 4. The balloon ride started a little after 6. I think we landed by 7:30ish and had breakfast, and I think we met back up with our driver guides about 9:30. So not a super long experience, but definitely a highlight of the trip. So if you have the opportunity, if you're going on safari, specifically in the Serengeti, take the balloon safari. It was amazing. If you have any questions about going on safari, feel free to check out my other videos or drop me a comment below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd love for you to subscribe if you have not already. I post videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!